Yo, YouTube. I've got a sales day video, but I want to do this one a little bit differently. I've got some pretty good variety here and some things that were instant flips, some different types of cards. And I just wanted to kind of do an intro on this one and just point that out so that as you're watching, listen for the different reasons why I stock this card or why these cards are selling. And hopefully that will help you as well if you are a seller or just provide good entertainment. So that's how this one's going to go. Hope you like it. On to the cards. Alright, so the first sale I want to talk about is a sticker card from 1986 Fleer. Now these were often discarded, thrown into discount boxes, given away to kids, just thrown out altogether as people were ripping packs during that time with the great baseball card boom. So these are a great pickup. There isn't as many out there. People like the stickers. The logos change over time, so it's kind of cool to see some of the older logos. Heck, a lot of the names of the teams have changed. Especially in recent years with a lot of, change in culture and things like that. So these are kind of unique. They're from 1986 Fleer, and they have this little sort of comic drawing on the back with some statistics. So this one has Jimmy Fox batted in 100 or more runs, 13 straight seasons. So they're pretty cool. But the great part is you can get a great big pile of these pretty cheap. Now, they don't sell for a ton, and you're not going to get $10, $15 a piece for a team sticker card, but you can get $2, $3 a piece, and a lot of times you'll sell multiples. So I think these are a great pickup that often gets overlooked. And this Rangers card sticker, I should say here, sold for $1.75. Now here's a really awesome sale. I literally bought these on Saturday, so they weren't in my store for more than 2 days. I had 10 copies of them I picked up at 2 cents a piece when I was filling a box at a show of quarter cards. They were originally quarter cards. I ended up getting them for 2 cents a piece, so a great deal. But it's these diamond cut tops inserts. They've done really well with some of the main players like Jeter and Mantle and stuff like that. But some of these a little bit lesser named players also do very well. And then this is also important because Josh Gibson was in the Negro Leagues. So if you're following any modern recent baseball news, the Negro Leagues statistics, players, things like that, a lot of those things are now being added into Major League Baseball history and included that way. So I think it has some significance as that. So you got a great brand, Topps. Can never go wrong with Topps Baseball. You've got a great design and card look here. It's shiny. It's got a diamond on it. It's die cut. Great photo of a player who is now getting more recognition. And then, of course, multiple copies always helps as well. So I sold all 10 of those for $29.90. All right, the next sale here actually consists of 4 separate orders that were paid for, but of course I'm going to ship them all together. And I consider this my GOAT sales. So it's important to have things that are in current times or upcoming prospects, things that are interesting, different, rare, that kind of stuff. But you can never go away from the GOATs. The GOATs must always be in stock as much as possible. So here we've got a Michael Jordan Upper Deck MVP card and a 1992 Stat Smasher Deion Sanders, and a Hoops Magic Johnson, this really cool 90s looking design Hoops card. It was a checklist card for the Lakers. And those 3 sold for $11.67. And then I have 2 separate Jerry Rice cards that were paid. So of course the GOAT of wide receiving. So we have this Prism Marquee card, which sold for $4.99. And then this Flash 80 Upper Deck Team Checklist card for the 49ers, and this sold for $1.79. Then we've got this stack here. These all sold for $36.91 total. So we've got a Stat Smasher, Barry Sanders, which I bought in ginormous quantity a long time ago. So those keep paying dividends. A 99 Topps insert record numbers, Barry Sanders. Maybe not so GOAT-like, but this goes back to that cool design, a little bit more rare insert, 90s type stuff. This is Gary Payton, Provisions. 90 Upper Deck, or excuse me, 90 Score, Lawrence Taylor, the Crunch Crew subset. Many consider Lawrence Taylor the GOAT of linebacker. This would be my second pick behind Jerry Rice for receiving GOATs. This is Randy Moss. And this is the Topps the Chrome Own the Game insert. So again, you've got good brand Topps, nice chrome shiny insert, and then, you know, top GOAT kind of thing. Michael Irvin, another marquee. Prism, not a GOAT, but Cowboys always sell. And then a Mike Allstott. This one I just listed yesterday or 2 days ago, so nice quick sale there. More rare parallel. Pacific wasn't quite as overprinted in the 90s. Shiny card, all that good stuff. Here's a Dion, Topps Finest, 99 Finest. And then one more Randy Moss, a Bowman's Best Randy Moss. So now this is 14 cards, so this will go in my 6x9 envelope with 3 card savers, 88 cents to ship. Now here's one that's near and dear to my heart, and that's a wild card. Got it backwards here. Reggie White 10 stripe from 1993 wild card. Don't see these real often, especially of big name players, but I found this in a 50-cent box at the, where was that? That was the Madison card show a couple months ago, and couldn't pass that up by any measure. I even paid the full 50 cents for it. There wasn't a ton of cards in that box I wanted to buy. It was all Reggie White stuff, but I definitely picked this one up. A couple of other good inserts. Most of those have sold already as well, so quick movers. I sold this for $10. I was really hoping to get a little more for that for it, but you have to take your profits at times too. And I knew that I didn't really have anything into this, and Reggie White has a decent market, but it's not ginormous. So I was really happy that I got a sale for this, and it's going to someone who really, really wants it for their collection. So at that same Madison show, there was actually a pretty good soccer dealer there who ripped a lot of stuff. And he had a nice dollar box just full of star base cards and stuff. And I got a stack of probably 15 or 20 of this Kylian Mbappe Stadium Club Chrome card. And they were $1 a piece. I got a little bit of a deal on them from them. So probably 75 cents, 70 cents, something like that I paid for this. And this sold for $4.99. I still have 14 left, so I have sold a few. But major soccer stars are just such easy money. They don't have a lot of sets. They, it's an international market, all that good stuff. So there's good soccer stuff to buy. And you can generally, if you do find it, I don't see a ton of it where I am, but if you do find it, you can generally get it at a pretty good price. Many would consider him the best current player in the world. And he's looking to probably transfer from PSG this year into a Premier League club like Manchester United or something like that. So there'll probably be even more market from him going forward, especially if he gets on a good team. So watch out for Kylian Mbappe stuff and buy stuff in quantity. Here's a card I got in one of the big monster boxes that I bought a ton of. This is a Eric Davis rookie card from 1985 Topps. Definitely off-centered top to bottom, not necessarily a great one to grade. Pretty centered on left to right. Condition is good, but just a great easy single to sell raw. And I got $3.99 for this one. So here's a fun one. This is a Ghostbusters card. Now, the original Ghostbusters movie didn't have any cards made, but in more recent times, I think this is 2014. Yeah, 2016, a company called Cryptozoic, which makes a bunch of different non-sport movie cards and that type of thing. Came out with this set. I bought an entire set of these a while ago. Ghostbusters is extremely popular. It's big with the cosplay community. There's new movies coming out that are pretty good. So there's some fan base there. And then I think it just hit 40-year anniversary or 50-year, something like that. So a bunch of people went to New York where the real firehouse building is to celebrate some things there. So this is a great time to hit something like this where it's in mines again. Really nice, well-made cards with some cool inserts, stuff like that. And these have been getting picked off. I've had these for about a year now. They've been getting picked off here and there, different cards. And this one sold today for $1.99. All right, here's another card out of the monster box. This is Terry Francona. It's 1982, so not a big name, but again, paid a penny, 2 cents for it, whatever. So really anything you sell it for is going to be profit. It sold it for $1.99. Now, the other important thing to think about with cards like these is they're scannable. So it really didn't take me any time. My banner gets automatically loaded beneath the card. In the photos on eBay, it takes seconds to, load 30 to 50 cards in there. So I really don't have much invested in this other than grabbing the stack, putting them in the scanner, putting them in the bag, and throwing them in the drawer. And then they all get skewed, so when I have to go pull the order, that goes pretty quick too. So you have to, really watch time management on these smaller dollar cards. All right, sometimes sports and celebrity mix, and that's what we have here. We've got a Mr. T WWE card. It is the premier level, which is a little bit tougher to pull than the basic card out of the set. It's got a great shot of Mr. T there with his opponent on his shoulders. Sold for $3.99. Here's another example of a card that I got in a decent quantity. I think I got 6 or 7 of these. I've had a decent stack of them in the past. For whatever reason, I find these in quantity. This is a 2016 Donrus Travis Kelce. Now, not a particularly rare card by any measure, but 2016 is when Donrus came back, had this kind of cool design, something that we consider it to look like now with Donrus and Optic. Travis Kelce, obviously a pretty big name in modern day with pop culture as well as the sport of football. And then having quantity, you hit that algorithm once you sell one. I've sold a couple. Now I've got another one here that I sold. $2.99 I got for this base card. I've got 3 non-sport cards here from a buyer. The first one is this Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Tiger Zord. I believe it is. White Tiger Zord. Foil card. I think you got a foil per pack. I bought a decent lot of these really cheap, like 99 cents or $2 for like 30 cards, and there's a bunch of the foil inserts in it. They're not in perfect condition. That's the one downside. But don't have to get much for them since I got the whole stack for a pretty good price. This one sold for $3.99. Another one is a Renin Stimpy card. I've talked about these a lot. This is the Big Baby Scam. Now these are Prism cards. They came in 3 different designs, so you can get this what I call splatter pattern here. There's a laser pattern which has got a bunch of lasers around it, kind of like the Panini cards. And then there's a circles, what I call prism circles or scope, if you want to compare it to sports cards. But cool looking cards, lots of great scenes from a very iconic show that has a adult following. We watched it as kids and we all enjoy it still today. And this sold for $2.99. And then I've got one more. Power Rangers card here. This is the Yellow Ranger. And this was from a different Power Rangers buy. It was a lot that I bought a while ago. These are in better condition, so I can charge a little bit more for them. And this is the foil version, and this sold for $4.99. So nice sale on a few non-sport cards there. Along the non-sport lines there, I've got a Miss PacMan sticker card. There's PacMan, Miss PacMan, Super PacMan. There's a bunch of different PacMan sticker sets. Miss PacMan always says the pink on the back, so it's easy to tell. Obviously, it says Miss PacMan as well. But I buy these in big lots or whole sets when I can. There's a big collector market for it. And again, this helps when you're in some off seasons of sports to try to fill your sale gaps. This one sold for $4.49. No surprises here. You've seen this one 1,000 times in my videos. This is all Barry Sanders, 93 Stat Smasher. Bought giant stacks of these a long time ago. Still plugging along. I have 121 of these left, so got plenty of sales to make on these. Definitely has hit the algorithm and keeps pumping. This one sold for $4. Alright, so back to the GOATs. GOATs aren't always more modern players. We have Babe Ruth here, who many consider still to be the best baseball player of all time. And I sold 3 Babe Ruth cards here to this buyer. Now, I bought a Babe Ruth lot, a little $2 pack of Babe Ruth cards at a card shop in the mall from the Eau Claire card show, which I knew was going to be a good deal. I generally will ask $4 to $5 a piece for any nice looking licensed Ruth card, if you want to call it that. And they sell. These 3 sold for $9 total, so a good sale there. And you can never go wrong with the GOATs. Now, this is how I started. I started by just selling all my extra Favre PC stuff that I didn't need any longer. So I continue to sell a lot of Favre stuff. It's good to sort of be known for something when you're selling. Like, oh, that's the guy who sells all the Favre stuff. That's the guy who has all the Jordan stuff or all the rare insert stuff. Whatever your niche is. But I have a lot of buyers that come to me because I have all the Favre stuff. So anyway, that's a case here. This is just a base card, $19.99, Topps Finest, but this sold for $3.99. Here we've got another one of those 1986 Fleer sticker cards. This is the Minnesota Twins, their old school logo there. And then we have Tris Speaker hitting 793 doubles there on the back. And this sold for $1.99. Sometimes you get lucky, or you just got prepared and didn't know you needed to be prepared for a sale of something that just suddenly gets hot. And that's kind of what I have here. This is a big stack of stuff. These are all Sports Illustrated for Kids cards, which you guys know I'm heavy into and have been for a long time. But then it's a lot of the WNBA players. This is all female athletes, every single one of these cards. And we do have quantity on some of these. So again, quantity still matters. We got Tina Pinchero. We've got Jennifer Gillum. A couple of Tina Thompsons. A couple of Dottie Mockery, who was an LPGA, Ladies PGA player in the 90s. We got Epiphany Prince. Here's a sprinter, Carmelita Jeter. No relation to Derek. Let's see, straighten these out a little bit here. And then here's a good one. I had a stack of these forever and I've never sold one. So that's okay though. I kept adding to the quantity listing as I would get them in. And now I sold pretty much all of them. This is 14 Gail Devers, who was a hurdler in the 90s. And it's, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14 copies. 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 copies of this Gail Devers card. So such a great sale on, to sell the entire quantity to one buyer. And we've got another Tisha Pinchero. So a couple of those. Here's a Megan Walker. So some more basketball. Yolanda Griffith. Teresa Weatherspoon, who played for Team USA. Ruthie Bolton Holefield. A swimmer here, Amanda Beard. And then all those are female cards, and we had just one male athlete here that they wanted cards of. This is Jeremy Weriner. He was a sprinter or runner of some... Yeah, sprinter. So 2 of those. So we're selling quantity here, which I love. Sayri Pak, who was a golfer. Is a golfer, I should say. I think she's still golfing. Another Jennifer Gillum. Here's Tamika Catchings. And another Dada Mockery, golf. And then 4 again, one where I've gotten them in lots here and there, and they just kind of piled up to have a nice quantity. So I've got 4 of these Jennifer Azzi, I think is how you pronounce it, Azzi, but sold all 4 copies of those. And then a Cynthia Cooper. Most people know who Cynthia Cooper is. Kind of a legend in women's basketball. But a great order there. Came in 2 separate orders for some reason. There's 2 cards in one order for $5.98. And then the other order is $95.64. And I don't pay much for Sports Illustrated for Kids, and none of these were like the main reason I would have bought a lot. So, you know, maybe 5-10 cents max in each one of these cards. So it's really nice to get a huge lot like this out the door. Now, one of the things I love to look for, just because it's fun, plus it does help sales, is cards where there's like weird things going on in them or time-dated type stuff. So we've got this Collector's Choice card, not a rare card by any measure. They overprinted Collector's Choice more than most of the Upper Deck sets. We've got Cal Ripken Jr. on there, of course, a legendary player. And he's on this big, chunky, late 80s, early 90s cell phone. This was made in 94, so I'm guessing a very early 90s cell phone in the dugout there. And I actually point this out right in the listing. I say, well, here's how I had it listed. 1993 Collector's Choice, Cal Ripken Jr., big cell phone, and I put it in capital letters. I know some people don't like caps, but I like certain things to stand out at times. Card number 240. So just makes that listing stand out a little bit. It's so cool to have that sort of timestamp with it. It's got him with the kids on the back, so a nice photo on the back as well. But this simple, overproduced based card I got $2.99 for. Another thing I love to look for, especially when you're looking at vintage stuff, is team cards. Team cards, play action cards, cards that don't maybe necessarily mention a specific player, especially a player that has hobby, and you can kind of get some extra value out of it because of that. A lot of times team cards, checklist cards, things like that get tossed aside considering they don't have much value, and they're easy ones to sell. This Eagles team card from 1966 sold for $2.99. Now, of course, it doesn't have a major player featured on the back or anything like that. I think this is Rick Caceres. He was a fullback. Don't know much about him. But it has the whole team on it. So any of the Eagles players from that year are going to be in there. And it just makes that card a little bit more attractive. I also love older players that are on modern cards. I kind of talked about Babe Ruth earlier. Same play here with Roberto Clemente. Especially ones where it's like a replica of the old card. They sell very well. People can't afford. They like the look of the card. They want the feel of the card. But they can't necessarily afford a copy of the original card. It gives them a great option. This sold for $2.99. It's from Topps Archives 2001, I believe. It's a little bit older set. And many wouldn't consider him a GOAT if you go back to like the GOAT sales conversation. But players that have big stories, sometimes unfortunately tragic stories, tend to maintain a lot of hobby. And that's kind of the case with Roberto Clemente. He was a fantastic baseball player, of course, as well. Sometimes you get presented with an opportunity to buy some cards that you maybe normally wouldn't be presented with. That's kind of the case with a small collection I bought. My friend's neighbor, who is now elderly, is looking to sell her home, move into something a little bit easier to manage. And she had some baseball cards from her late husband that she was looking to just move all in one lot. There's some comic books actually as well. And so he asked me if I would be interested. And I expected them to be either commons or in extremely poor condition, or they were actually modern cards, something like that. But no, he actually had some 60s and 70s cards of some main players, big name players, such as this one here, Bob Gibson, which I sold yesterday. They've all sold very well. There is some condition issues. There was tape around the edges to keep the edges nice, but in a way it kind of worked. So it's discolored the borders slightly, but the tape was so old it just kind of flaked off. So I just kind of finished flaking off what was on there, and the card came out pretty clean. And I mean, look at the back; it's nice. Corners ended up staying decent. Edges ended up staying decent because somebody had sort of taken care of them. It's a very interesting effect by that. And of course, this was scanned in, so nice clear view of the card itself to the buyer. And this one sold for $11.69. Here's a great case where the set almost matters more than the player to some degree as far as value goes. This is from 1999 EX. Very expensive cards back in the day. Very sought after by collectors. The designs are cool. The acetate, the nice refractor to them. I mean, they look great. The back, they kind of put the stats along the player so you can actually see them so that they don't show up on the acetate through the front, and just well thought out designs. Kind of like an ocean wave type of swoop, through the background to give it a little bit of team color and a little shine. Now, Troy Ikman, of course, is no slouch. He's in the Hall of Fame. He won 3 Super Bowls and, played for an amazing Dallas Cowboys team. But I think very few would consider him a GOAT. But playing for the Cowboys, being a quarterback, being in the Hall of Fame, being a great sought-after set, these kinds of cards are no-brainers to carry, even though they aren't the big-name stuff. And this card sold for $4.49. Look, here's a card where I just recently picked up a big lot of. I paid up a little bit for it, probably more than I would normally want to pay, but these cards are just so amazing and they sell so well. These are from the Silver Surfer Prism set from 92, I think it was, 91 or 92. Anyway, they're all different characters from the Silver Surfer storyline, so you've got this really sweet Thanos card here with the sparkles. But the art is amazing. Having the prism effects on it is fantastic, and they do very well. This card sold for $4.99. I think I paid, I want to say like $25 for 60 or 70 cards. It was a complete set minus like 2 or 3 cards. So definitely worth what I paid, considering, the individual cards sell so well. But yeah, these are fantastic. One of my favorite cards to look for and consequently get sales for. One of the great thing about different comic card sets is they'll feature different characters. So here's another Silver Surfer card from that same set, but this has Thor on it. It kind of features Thor. It's even called Thor on the back. So you've got Thor down here and Silver Surfer up top there. And there's obviously a big market for Thor stuff. And I think the buyer actually bought this because of Thor on it, not necessarily Silver Surfer. So comic cards are great in that sense. And this one also sold for $4.99. Okay, and last but not least on this one is this Jude Bellingham Topps Chrome Bundesliga when he was with Borussia Dortmund. This is from 2022, so not very old. But I got this and an Erling Haaland Borussia Dortmund card. They both were on the team at the same time for $1. They were in a random, kind of tossed aside soccer box at the Madison Card Show dealer there, and couldn't pass that up. I mean, the Haaland alone would have been a worthy buy, but I was thinking ahead. I knew Jude was going to be leaving Borussia and go to a bigger team, and he's such a great player, good personality, plays for England, which of course always has a following. And then yesterday he scored a huge goal in the game against Belgium, so I'm sure that helped prompt this sale. But I got $6 for this card. I think for the Haaland I got $7.99 for it, so $8. So I got $14 for these 2 cards I paid $1 for. Alright everybody, that's it for this one. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. Ring the bell if you want to be notified of any future videos. And please consider sharing this video to anyone you think might also enjoy it. Don't forget a live show every Wednesday at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Me, Charlie, and Stuart the Goat. As well as join our Discord. It's under the Dollar Box. Search the Dollar Box on Discord and you'll find us there. And ask to join. We have a great community there and it's a lot of fun. But thank you so much for watching. And remember, you can't sell what you don't list. We'll see you soon.